my presentation real quick and move on to our guest speaker tonight. Just so I try to keep this at an hour because it's dinner time for everybody. So, Jack Hulsman is a retired lieutenant from the St. Louis Police Department. He didn't retire very long before he got itchy and wanted to go back to work. So, what did you do? 36 years?
Yeah.
36 years. And he spent the majority of that in the Internal Affairs Division. So you talk about a thankless job.
You know what they say? Too long.
Too long?
Yeah, it's like
Once he got in, he couldn't get out. So, Jack Hulsman, ladies and gentlemen, will do the rest of his introduction.
Thank you. I don't know how many of you have my handouts that are on the table in the back, but pick one up on your way out. The Fraud Prevention Task Force, Circuit Attorney's Office, has a simple goal of just educating the community about fraud and how to avoid being the victim of fraud by basically 3 ways. Giving presentations like this to the community, doing fraud alerts, and I'll talk to you about a fraud alert that I just put out yesterday, and then answering a fraud hotline. Now, all these cases that you read about on this handout are fraud hotline calls that I've accepted in the last 6 months from people that have a connection with St. Louis, either live here or they were the victim of a fraud here in St. Louis. They're all true stories. Last Thursday I took a phone call from a lady who lives in California. This is on Jennifer Joyce's website, circuitattorney.org. And by the way, one of the things I put out for the fraud alerts, if you do not receive my fraud alerts and would like to, my email address is on that handout. Send me an email saying that you'd like to be added to the fraud alerts. Anyway, the lady in California put her profile on Match.com about 3 months ago. She got a hit from a gentleman. Over the last 3 months, they've developed a relationship, cell phones, text messages, emails. She became enamored with this gentleman. Now if you were to Google online dating scams, you'll find a website, onguardonline.gov. It's textbook. I mean, it's like, lady, didn't you? Anyway, it's not funny though, because this lady got hit for $25,000 over the course of 3 months. The man, says he works with a company that's based in St. Louis. You can't find the company. It doesn't exist. He's working in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, runs into financial problems. I need some money. Would you help me out? Sure, I'll help you out. And she wire transfers. You ever hear the term wire transfer? Back away. Anyway, over the course of the 3 months, she sends this guy $25,000. Well, guess what? He's disappeared. We don't even know if he really is who he says he is. All right? And so I told the lady to contact her local sheriff's department in California. Said, well, there isn't much help we can do, and I suggested that she call the FBI and hopefully they'll pick it up and run with this. I'm not going to cover everything that's on this handout. Read it at your leisure. If you have any questions, give me a call. Now, if you think I'm an intelligent person, I'm not going to fall victim to a scam. I'm just too bright for that. Well, in 2010, and I'm going to mess with Mr. Owens here for a minute, a member of the bar. Okay, you don't mind me picking on you, do you? In 2010, 80 law firms, mostly in this country, got hit with a typical Nigerian scam to like $30 million. And here's the case. This isn't in the handout. But they're contacted by an African businessman who says, a man in the United States, a person in the United States, owes me money, say $500,000. And we want you to facilitate collecting the debt. So they contact the debtor who says, yeah, I owe the money. Oh gosh, you're right. I'll send you a cashier's check for the $500,000. And here's the deal, okay, with the African businessman. Well, go ahead and deposit that into your account, subtract your fee, $50,000, $100,000, whatever it is, and then wire transfer the remaining $400,000 to this account, all right? So they do that, they deposit this cashier's check to find out 5 days later, guess what? It's a counterfeit, forged check, it's no good. 80 law firms got hit by this in 2010. And the FBI located and arrested a man, I think last August 2011, in Nigeria on this scam. But guess what? $30 million, who knows where it is. This one email I got at home, my personal email, both my email accounts at home, got this. It's from the IRS. It says right there, IRS. It says I didn't file my taxes by January 31st, 2012. I didn't know that I had to file taxes by January 31st. And it says I'm in violation of some penal code. Go inside our official site to obtain more information. Click here. Well, guess what? I didn't click here. Luckily, my virus protection caught it and put it into my spam folder, but I was able to look at it. If I would have clicked here, hopefully McAfee would have said, "Oh, no," and deleted the thing, because my computer would have been infected with malware, or I would have been asked to provide my social security number, birthday, all the stuff to steal my identity. This is a scam that's been going on for years. Grandmother scams, I'll cover this real briefly. There was just you're 2 o'clock in the morning, you're woke up by a phone call from, this is what you'll hear. "Grandma, this is your favorite grandson." And you'll go, "Mike?" And that's the clue. He doesn't know who your grandson's name is. "Yeah, this is Mike. I'm down in Mexico. I'm under arrest. I was involved in an accident, some emergency. I need money to make bond." In this one case in St. Louis, the lady lived in Kentucky. Her grandson lives in South St. Louis. She believed Mike was in jail in Mexico. Wire transferred $4,100 to him. There was a lady that was on the internet, Columbus, Ohio. Monday, it was on the internet. She fell for this scam last week 4 times to a tune of $20,000. Her son's in Mexico. They found drugs in his friend's car. "I need money for bond." She sends them money for bond. The next day they call to say, well, they need money for an attorney. Sends another $5,000. "I need money to pay the fine." Another $5,000. This lady got hit for $20,000. Grandmother scams. Then moving on, I'm just going to go. I know you all do this. I'm preaching to the choir, so to speak. Everybody here has checked their credit report with TransUnion, Experian, Equifax in the last year. You're entitled to do that 3 times a year, or get 3 reports every year. If you haven't done it, log on to annualcreditreport.com and get at least one of your reports now. What I do is I get them every 4 months. I go to Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and get one of their reports. So I'm looking at my credit report 3 times a year. Do that. Look at your bank statements. If your identity is going to be stolen, one of the first things you're going to find it out is, besides when your bank calls you to say, "Did you just make a purchase online in California?" And you're going, "Well, no, wait a second, you're calling me, I'm at home in St. Louis," right? That's one way. But through your bank statements is going to be another way. I know that none of you have your Social Security card on you, right? What is your Social Security number, Brad?
41.
Don't give it away to anybody. Your bank, Social Security Administration already knows who you are, right? Shred your bank statements. Everybody's got a shredder. I've got, well, one's broke. I got 2 functioning shredders. But read those the scams that are going on. You'll find them interesting, and you'll go, just like we kind of laughed about the lady in California, that some of them are laughable, but guess what? We fall victims to this way, way too much. And what's the adage? There's a test here. I'm going to let you complete this statement. All right? If it looks too good to be true, it is. Or it probably is, right? I got an investment deal for it, Jim. Let's see it. Right? The swamp land someplace. If you don't mind, I'm going to take a brief minute to introduce a colleague of mine, Vera Lyons. She works in the Circuit Attorney's Office, the Community Affairs Bureau, and she wants to talk to you very briefly about, I shouldn't say briefly, Vera, you might know, about something that's very dear to her.